Okay, so one thing I want to share today is something I promised 2 weeks ago. So we've been discussing with Gosha a lot that for some people, for newcomers, it's a challenge to organize themselves and to work remotely in a way that's both effective and satisfying for them. So we have decided that obviously there is no one good way to do it, but those who are working remotely for a long time may be an inspiration. So now I will do like 10 minutes presentation on how I work remotely. I'm doing this for like couple of years already. I'm absolutely in love with this, and probably this is the main reason why we do not have an office. And yeah, I know that most of you know these things. Most of you probably works remotely better than I do, but I hope that for some of you, understanding the different approaches may be an inspiration. So I will share my screen right now. Yeah, any questions to what I said up to this moment? Okay. Yeah, so remote work by me. I hope it will be an inspiration for you. And obviously, there's no one right way to organize yourself. And I think that when deciding on how you're gonna work remotely, it's very important to take into account some things. So first of all, your specific job. So what you really do, your preferences. So how you want to work, and the most important thing, what kind of person you are. Basically, anything you do in work really should be seen through the fact of what kind of person you are. And this is why there's no one great way to work remotely for everyone. So about me, I love to work in intervals. So like short periods of doing something, then doing something else, then doing something else. And also it's because it's difficult for me to stay focused for more than an hour, even 30 minutes doing one thing. This really needs to be very interesting for me. If I want to keep focus, I try to split things into shorter parts than an hour or 30 minutes. So at the same time, I am motivated when things happen fast, so I can see the results of my work. It's very important for me to just have things done one by one. And I know that the delay in responding or acting can slow down a process in which many people are involved. So I can't really afford not to answer for some kind of questions for like a day or two, because this will influence other people's job. So the tools I use are simply Gmail, ClickUp, Google Tasks, and Loom, or ClickUp Recording. And I start my day by creating a list of topics I'm going to tackle the day. And I always try to make sure that there is at least one task that is important but not urgent. And I think this is crucial, and not only to rush to make things done that are calling your name, hey, you need to take care of me, but also remember about things that are important but not urgent. Otherwise, you will always do like run in a place. Don't know how to say it exactly, but really take care to have some important but not urgent things on your to-do list. You have like 6-8 hours of a day, so really having 1 hour dedicated to something what's not urgent is not such a big deal, and this is important for you and for the entire company. And also I try to have one task that will take more than an hour. So usually these are like a lot of small tasks, but also I'm trying to have at least one task that's bigger, that requires more time from my side. So I create my to-do list on a daily basis using Google Tasks. So this is a tool I love. I know that some of you do not use it. For me personally, it's essential. I love it. Every day I review the tasks, choosing those which I will deal with that day. So I'm moving the task to a main task of these days, like this was from 11th of August. And I also use Google Tasks for my one-on-one statuses. I write on Google Tasks in a special list dedicated to each person what I'm going to discuss with this person. So I collect them through the entire week. So I think like, hey, I'm going to talk with Gosia or with Shimon. So I'm going to put it in the task list instead of like messaging Shimon that I want to speak with him about this. I often use the option to add a specific email to Google Tasks. This way I don't forget about the email. So you can use this option to move the email to the Google Tasks. I love it. And also, as I mentioned, I try to avoid a sense of monotony. So I try to this approach, like 30 minutes on a casual task. Then I move into 30 minutes on an important but not urgent task. And then I'm moving to replying to ClickUps or emails or having a call, whatever. But generally, this is my Pomodoro tactic. I try to split things into 30 minutes. Like 30 minutes of doing one thing is usually too much for me to have focus for more. So I try to change the tasks. So yeah, every 2 or 3 hours I take a break, and for a few minutes, at least twice a day, I go for a walk with the dog, I go to the shop, I call my friends, family, I read a book, whatever, what is not the job. Like I'm doing this kind of breaks at least 2 times a day. And I love it, and this is one of the best things about working remotely. So generally, I try to be always on the move. I also try to do my calls walking. If I can go out, I try not to sit during the calls. I try to walk. I walk at my apartment, doing various stuff, taking care of plants, cleaning. So anything what allows me to be on the move is something I love. Yeah, I know that there is a discussion about the ClickUp notification, how to challenge this. Well, I check ClickUp notifications every 2-3 hours. And I try to keep up to date, as I know that delays in replying can slow down the process in which many people are involved. But if you can, I would recommend that you check up ClickUp notification less often. I would say twice a day is sufficient. And I personally do not use ClickUp notification on Gmail. I try to keep Gmail as clean as possible, to use it as little as possible. So only to log in when I really want to do something on Gmail, because otherwise, when I'm all the time online on Gmail, it's asking for my attention, and I don't want to give it. So when I log into ClickUp, I usually have around 30 to 50 ClickUp notification, and cleaning them then up takes me 15 to 30 minutes. And I try to reply to questions immediately if this would take less than 2 minutes. So if someone is asking me about something on ClickUp and it takes less than 2 minutes, I do it immediately. If something takes more, I usually add this to lineup and take care of it later on. So this is the lineup. I recommend to use it. It's like Google Tasks, very similar. So I move things to lineup, and then every day I enter my lineup and decide what I'm going to tackle this day. So as I mentioned, this is a very important rule, absolutely one of the most important in my opinion. So it's my principle both on ClickUp and Gmail, and even Hangouts. If someone is asking me for something and it would take less than 2 minutes, I try to do it straight away. I can't always do it, obviously, but this is easier to do it at once than having to return to the subject later. It also ensures that I don't accumulate a large number of tasks. I also noticed that if a list of tasks I need to handle is very long, even if they are just small tasks, it is demotivating for me. I try to have like a shorter list of things to do. And lastly, I use Loom or ClickUp recording. I like to explain some things by showing them on the screen. That's why I like to use Zoom or the ClickUp recording that you can access directly from the tab where there's a comment to be added. Then you can hear my tone of voice, and it's easier to understand my intentions. And also, I think that using this kind of short recordings helps to avoid some meetings, because we have this feeling that, hey, it's better to explain this on the call. And because this person will see me, this person will hear me. So to support the asynchronous work model, I try to use the the recordings instead of doing calls. Okay, so this is it from my side. Do you have any questions?
I have two questions,
Yeah, go on.
if you don't mind.
No, I
First
don't mind.
question, how do you approach the specific start hour of your work and finish the finish hour of your work? I mean, because for me, for example, it was super important for me, realized 1 year ago that I need to start my work at 8 or 9 a.m. It's not, specific, and finish on some hour, because in other way I will be working too long.
So your question is,
do you have some specific hour where you start
yeah,
your work on your daily
always
routine?
the same hour. It's 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30. If I feel a little bit tired, I always sleep longer because I know that my day will be better if I am relaxed and I feel good. So I don't rush myself to start at 9:00. It's not about this, but I try to start in the morning. And then I always end up doing things at 6 the latest. I believe that this is very important to have at least 5 to 6 hours just for your personal stuff. I try not to mix things. I'm not doing my job for like 14 hours, like 1 hour of working, then 1 hour of relax. I try not to do it. Obviously, sometimes I use the advantage of the remote work that I can go to a dentist or go to, I don't know, tax office. That's absolutely fine, or meet with a friend. But even if I did it, I will try not to work longer than till 6, because in the long term, and this is a marathon, not a sprint, this would kill my vibe and my energy. So I try to have at least 5 to 6 hours a day of time where I do not work at all.
Okay, thank you.
So I think that it's even better to work for like 5 or 6 hours a day. Like Victoria mentioned some time ago, that for her it's like a time she's really focused, than to push yourself to the limit that, hey, I made a break during the day, so I need to go back at 9 p.m. and do my job. If it's not urgent, I would recommend not to do the job in the evening, because it really costs you a lot emotionally and physically in the long term.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. Once I set up my working hours from 8, 9, it's not the specific hour, AM to 4, 5 p.m. It was super helpful for me to make sure I work this period, because in other way I worked in the night, I worked in the early morning, so it wasn't effective. Yeah, that's all from my question. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Jakub. Any questions?
I don't have a question. I have maybe something to share. I've been working remotely full-time since November 2017. In the past, I was also working a lot for American companies that didn't have offices in Europe, so I'm kind of used to working from home. One of the great things that I found recently are, and it might be a stupid tip, but it's a standing desk. Maciej, I don't know if you know about this. Like, it's a desk with a little engine in it, and it goes up or down. And when I found it super helpful during the day to change position, not always be in a sitting position, but especially when doing meetings or calls, try to always do it standing up. I don't know about you, but there's something that when somebody calls me, I'm on the phone, and like instinctively, you want to get up and stand and talk on the phone. And lately, with working at desk all the time, people are getting used to just picking up the call while you're sitting. Where when you're standing, you have a much more inflection in your voice, or a kind of activity that people can sense. When you do a meeting and you stand instead of sitting, you're maybe, I don't know, you give a sense of being more hyperactive or more, it comes through better, I think, to people. So that's my little tip. I can help people. There are some people think standing desks are super expensive. There are actually companies that have been lowering the price more and more. You can get, just the engine and the feet for 250 euros. So it's now become very affordable. If you guys need tips on how to get it, I can help out.
Cool, thank you. So I just try not to sit. So this is a reason why I usually have my camera turned off during calls. Because if it's an internal call, I just turn off the camera and keep walking. But I have heard about the standing desk. I think a lot of people love it, and I think it's worth to check it even before buying this. For sure, you can find a place where you can stand for some time with your laptop and just to give it a try. I heard about a lot of people enjoying this option, this way of working.
So maybe that's will be not a question, but
Yeah, Magda, I can hear you.
sorry. Okay, now?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, great. That's maybe not a question, but suggestion that I just buy about a year ago a treadmill, and I use it every day, and when it's a rainy day especially, and when we have meetings just like every our weekly meeting, just like now. For now, I have already done about 5 kilometers walk, so it's also very, very nice thing.
Nice, that's great. That's very helpful, especially when you can go out. I definitely prefer working in summer because I can go out to the park and just do the calls walking. But in the winter, it's more difficult.
Yeah, it's more difficult, and the treadmill that I bought, it's for Xiaomi, and it's very low. It's got almost about 10 centimeters high, so it's really nice because you can just hide it under the bed even.
That's great. That's a great idea.